How often do you see it where a Zillow agent brings in a buyer to like a luxury building?
A lot. That's why Zillow makes all of their money. It's an agent at any other firm, but they're part of a Zillow program that's enabling them to get lead flow, right? And so we hustle to get listings all day long. Those listings syndicate out to Zillow. Zillow then takes those listings and sells the leads to those listings to other agents.
You know what I don't like is that on
and that's
Zillow,
what their class action lawsuit is about right now.
That's what I thought was ridiculous, is that on Zillow, it's like contact this property, but then the listing agent information is buried in a sea of text. And I remember recently a buddy was looking at a place in Vegas and says, hey, could you come with me and see this house? And so we pull up to this house and this dude shows up. And I'm thinking, is this the listing agent? This is a little weird. The guy just seemed a bit nice guy, just out of it a little bit. Anyway, he shows us through the house. And then at the very end, I say, is this the listing agent? She's like, no, I reached out on Zillow. I thought he was the listing agent. I said, no, that dude was just a random guy that you reached out on Zillow.
And that's how they make their money.
Yes.
And then if that deal goes through, Zillow tracks everything. They will find you in your coffin and they'll take somewhere between 35 and 40%.
Which I thought was crazy.
It's crazy.
I just reach out to the listing agent if you're going to be reaching out like that.
Yeah, but you got to know to do that. So the same way there was the commission class action lawsuit where all the big box brokerages had to fork over and it was a multi-billion-dollar settlement. At the end of the day, what it was really about was the unspoken standard where do you have to use an agent? No. But if the standard and all the training guides and the materials from all the huge firms are make sure the seller knows that the commission should be 5 or 6% and that the buyers can be represented by our own agents, even if they want to come direct, they should get 3 or 2.5%. The standard was such that the consumer had to be so overly educated about the process that they typically weren't, and it was costing them money, right? And so the court sided in favor of the consumers, which is what they'll typically do. Same thing for Zillow. You can find the listing agent. They're there, but it's not the standard operating procedure, right? You go on a website, you see a thing, you click on it, it says set up showing, I set up showing. I don't know that I'm going with somebody that doesn't represent the listing. That agent then goes there and they're the ones who are causing it to be a multiple fee situation. If you're just going directly to the listing agent say, oh, I've got a direct deal. Oh, you want to make an offer? Great. I'll go to my seller. Let me see. Oh, we have to bridge a gap. You know what? We're doing this. I'm a good person. And all of a sudden you got a deal done for less. So it's not necessarily the brokerages. A lot of it is from the aggregators who make tons and tons of money on listing commissions too.
Yeah. That's what Jack did. Can I say that?
Yeah.
On your when Jack sent me this warehouse, I said the first thing, if you're serious about it, go to the listing agent.
No, you didn't say that.
Oh, hot dog!
Go to the.
Give
Why did I say that?
Because that's what I did for the past house that I bought.
Because I told you to do that.
Yeah, you told me to do it 5 years ago, and then I have since been doing that. When I find a property I'm interested in, I reach out to the listing agent.
Are you a serial flipper? What's going on over here?
No, I'm not a serial. Whoa! I'm not a serial flipper. Okay,
he's a serial buy and holder.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm a serial entrepreneur. Okay, I look for deals and I try to get a good deal,
but got a great deal because you went to the listing agent. Now, I'm not saying in every situation you should always go to the listing agent, but when you're an experienced buyer and you know what you want,
you can negotiate by yourself. That's fine.
And it was interesting. I mean, her commission on my side was going to be like tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And let's just say more than 20,000.
Yeah.
And then I asked her, I was like, you know what? Like the best I can do is like 7,500 if you're willing to do it. It's just some paperwork. And she's like, yeah, I think I could do that. And then 2 days passed, and then she contacts me again. She's like, hey, sorry, the brokerage, like they won't let me do it for this. I have to do it for $35,000. And I was like, oh my gosh, 35. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to hit up this other agent that I just had this agent's contact in my phone. I'm like, hey, can you just transact this property for me for 7,500? She said yes. I went back to the other agent. I'm like, I found someone else to do it for 7,500. She's like, okay, I can do it for 7,500. And so it's like, for me in that
it's all a negotiation, but you know what you're doing.
It's all a negotiation for sure. But like something as simple as a few texts back and forth saved me like $20,000 on that
Good
deal.
move. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Have you seen that lawsuit affect commissions? Because I don't see any change.
No, because there's no inventory. If there was a lot of inventory, it's kind of like we're going back to, I don't know, an hour ago, talking about the city, right? New York City, politics, like there's only so much you can do. If there's no inventory, and if you have high rates, you have far less people who can afford to buy, and you have far less things for them to buy. And so when you have a tough inventory market and a tough buyer's market because the monthly payments are just high, you need to incentivize people to get deals done. And so the standard hasn't really changed. What has changed now is additional paperwork, and everyone's very clear and above board, which I am for free market transparency. I was kind of okay with what went down because it stops some of the shenanigans that you're just talking about, right? If you earn 6%, by all means, earn it. If you can find a great living and a way to do that, but you have to be black and white and you have to be above board. So now there's buy-side agreements in a way that most markets just haven't had before. And you go through and you write down, hey, I'm going to show you these 10 properties. These 8, the sellers are paying my fee. You're good. These 2, the sellers aren't. So if you like them, the fee's 3%. And then the buyer gets to say, no, don't show me those. I'll go by myself. Or the buyer gets to say, I understand. Okay, let's go see them. But now everything's above board and totally, totally transparent. That way there's no sneakiness, there's no weirdness the way it used to be.
What would you say are the strongest reasons to live in New York City and against living in New York City?
Well, you seem like you don't want to live there.
I want to live in New York City. Are you
Jack
kidding
does,
me?
in fairness.
I tell Graham all the time, it's like, if I could live anywhere in America or anywhere, honestly, in the world, it would be New York City right now.
New York is the most intellectually curious city on the planet. You could walk outside and see someone you've never met 100 times a day, every day, for 100 years. You can't do that anywhere else. There is every industry. There's art, tech, finance, sport, right? Pick an industry, it has a headquarters in New York City. You have the poorest of the poor, the wealthiest of the wealthy, and everyone in between. You have great education, great art, great food, great fun, great sadness, and everything is on a rock. It's also full of vertical neighborhoods, which just make it also, in a weird way, incredibly environmentally conscious. Versus like where we are today, everyone has 8,000 square foot house. I want acreage. I want this. I need my yard. We're in the desert, but whatever. I want grass. Like everyone wants to have their stuff. In New York, it's like, no, you want a 3-bedroom that looks at the park? You've got to be so successful that you can pay me $10 million a bedroom. If you can't do that, you don't get one. And so it really, really, really kind of democratizes the world in a very, very tight and efficient place. And it's also one of the most productive markets that I know of, next to, like a Hong Kong, let's say, where people just work their ass off to build because there is just so much opportunity. And you don't need to have a car.
If you've ever been denied a car loan, credit card, or even an apartment because of what's on your credit report, you are not alone. Most people don't even know what's hurting their credit score, let alone how to fix it. That is exactly where our sponsor DisputeBeast comes in. It's an AI-powered platform that helps you find and remove outdated or inaccurate items from your credit report fast.
We're talking things like late payments, old accounts and collections, or even accounts that don't belong to you. Not to mention, how it works is super easy. You connect your credit report and DisputeBeast scans it for negative marks that could be dragging down your score. Then it generates custom dispute letters tailored for your situation, no templates and no guesswork.
You could choose to just download the data and send it to the agencies yourself, or you can use their built-in mail service where they will literally handle everything for you.
It's honestly just really clean and simple to use, and it's built by experts.
So if you're ready to take back control of your credit, go to DisputeBeast.com/ICH today. There's also a link down below in the description, DisputeBeast.com/ICH. Guys, they will literally handle everything for you. If you're dissatisfied with your credit, they will do all of the research, let you know what's going wrong, and they will fight for you. DisputeBeast.com/ICH. Thank you so much to DisputeBeast for sponsoring this clip.